Welcome to our lecture. Here we are going to learn about conceptual dependency. Okay, conceptual dependency. This conceptual dependency is used to represent the meaning of natural language sentences. Again, what is it? It is the way to represent the knowledge. Okay, it is the way in which we represent the knowledge. So natural language sentences are there. We can represent this natural language sentences using conceptual dependency. Okay, so this is the last way how you can represent the knowledge, which we are going to study. It helps in drawing inferences. It is independent of the language, okay, independent of words used in the original input. It is in the form of diagrams. Okay, this is very interesting because everything is represented in this form of diagrams. So sentences are represented as series of diagrams depicting about the actions using both abstract and real physical situations. So let us see how they are going to work. So for them to work, it requires certain actions, which we call it as primitive acts. Okay, so these are the primitive actions, primitive standard actions which you have to use, okay, to represent. What you are going to do is knowledge you are going to represent in the form of pictures, number of pictures. Okay, so for that we require actions. Okay, so here are few actions. One is a trans. Okay, you have to remember a trans means what? To give. A trans means what? Give. P trans. P trans means go. Then propel. Propel means to push. M trans. M trans means to tell. So these codes are used. Okay. M build means to decide. Speak is to say. Attend is to listen. Move is to punch or kick. Okay. Grasp is to clutch. Means if you perform these activities, you have to use these words. It's that simple. Okay. So we will use one or two and show it to you. So what I gave you, what were those? Those were primitive acts. And here you have conceptual categories. Like real world object is there. Like I'm there, Mary is there, right? So these objects are called as picture producers because these are responsible to do the activities. So these objects are nothing but picture producers. In short, you have to represent it using PP. Okay. So for human beings or for the real world objects, we are going to use PP. Secondly, the notation that we are going to use for actions will be written in short, ACT. Okay. Next, attributes of the objects, we call it as PA. PA stands for picture aiders. Okay, they are the attributes of the objects, PAs. And the fourth one you should know is action aiders, that is nothing but AA. The one which helps in doing the action is called as action aider. Aid is nothing but help. Okay, picture aider and action aider. T stands for time and LOC stands for locations. So these four are important for us to remember. PP, picture producer, ACT, action, PA, picture aider, AA, action aider. Okay. These are conceptual categories. So let us see an example. Okay, how to use all this. This is example. Okay, I'm not explaining it right now. I'll explain you it in further slides. The same example I've explained further. I just want to tell over here that in this way you have to represent conceptual dependency. Okay, a pictorial format. I gave a book to man. In order to represent this sentence, this picture is used. Okay, it should be noted that this representation is same for different types of sentence. Like I gave the man a book. The man got the book from me. The book was given to man by me. So number of permutation combination of these sentences, using them the same picture works for it. Like I gave the book to man. Okay, so this is conceptual dependency. Let us see the rules or the conventions to do this. So few conventions are there, like we have to use arrow as you have seen, right? Arrow shows the direction of dependency. Two-way arrow is there. Two-way arrow describes the link between actor and the action. O is the object case relation, R is recipient case relation, P stands for past tense, D stands for destination, F stands for future. Okay, then F stands for future, T stands for transition, TS stands for start of the transition, TF stands for finish of transition, K continuing, question mark interrogative, this stands for negative, nil stands for present, delta for timeless. Means everything, for each and everything you have conventions. Okay, so let us see few rules. Okay, so this is the most important rule, PP. So you have to represent, this will be one part of your diagram. Now if my statement is John ran, I will represent it in this format. What is the object over here? My object is John. Object means what? The one who, picture producer, the one who has produced the picture. So about whom I am talking? Who is producing the picture? John is producing the picture. So John is the picture producer over here, right? What is the activity that John is doing? Ran, right? So he himself is moving from one position to the other. So I use the word like go. He's going from here to there, or he's running from here to there. So what is the activity for that? P trans. As he himself physically is going from one position to the other, I have to represent it using P trans. Okay. So two-way arrow to show that dependency is between both. Okay. And here P stands for past tense because John ran. It is past tense, right? So John is running from here to there. Okay. So two-way dependency said that neither actor nor event can be considered primary. Okay. That is the use of two-way dependency. So P double arrow, activity, action. Okay. This is the way to represent these kind of small sentences. For example, Mary ate. Okay. So here I'll have Mary. Okay. Ate. Now what to do for ate is we can have another transition for ate, and again this and drop P is there. Okay. We will see further more examples. Okay. Next is now John pushed the bike. Now again, who is my picture producer? John. So here I am having John. Now this is the story of John, right? But now here, what is the story of John? The picture producer I have, like over here I have bike also as the picture producer. Activities picture producer is what? Like on what it is acting. On what it is being acting, right? So on bike it is acting. So here I'll have the word bike. So bike is my object. I've written here O on the top of the bike, right? So what does that O act as? O is nothing but object case relation. Fine, I'm talking about this bike. O is the object case relation. So this is the object about what we are talking. Okay. So bike is propelled. The arrow, direction of arrow is towards the action. Propel means what? Going from one location to the other. Actually, propel means push. Propel is used for push. So bike is getting pushed from, right? So push. So that's why our activity is what? Propel. Okay, push. The next is PPPP. PPPP stands for, this is picture producer, this is again picture producer. It describes the relation between two PPs. One of which belongs to the set defined by the other. For example, John is a doctor. So who is a John? Doctor. So John is a doctor. So this is also picture producer, this is also picture producer, but one of which belongs to the set defined by the other. So doctor has defined a set and John belongs to that set. It's that simple. So John is a doctor. Mary is a teacher. So Mary, double arrow, teacher. Teacher defines a set to which Mary belongs. Okay. The fourth one is PP add, like when should I use this? When should I use this? So it's very simple. If I want to show certain belonging, for example, John's dog. Okay. John's dog. So at that time I use this. Okay. Possession by. John possesses that dog. If I want to show the possession or if I want to show the location, okay, John's home, that is also location. Or if I want to show physical containment, like foods, pizza's container, okay, pizza's container, okay. So in that case, I'll be using the word contain, C-O-N-T. For location, I'll be using the word L-O-C. For possession, I'll be using the word pause by, possessed by, pause by, right. So I have John, paused by dog. That is, dog is paused by John. John's dog. Okay, in this fashion we have to explain it. Further, PP, PA. Now what is PP again? Picture producer. What is PA? Picture aider. Okay, so in this picture aider, so this way is used to describe when I want to say about, it describes the relationship between PP and PA that is asserted to describe it. In short, I want to say some property of PP. If I want to say something about this PP, okay, about this PP, then we use this fashion. So John is fat. So fat is property of John, right? So John, double arrow, weight is greater than equal to 80. So I can use the word weight. See, all these words like P trans, propel, A trans, weight, these were initially given to you, right, in that particular slide. These are the primitive actions which we use in CD, conceptual dependency. So you should be familiar with those actions. Next is PPPA. Now when to use this? If smart John, like what is property of John or what is adjective with respect to John being smart. So that is given in this fashion. Okay, smart John. Next is if my object is going from one PP to the other PP, from one picture producer to the other picture producer, some object is being transferred. Like it describes the relationship between the act, but over here I have to and from. For example, John took a book from Mary. Now what has happened? John has taken the book from Mary. So from goes in this fashion, to goes in this fashion. So from Mary goes to John, but what goes? A book. So here book is the object. Now it is given, right? The word for give, the act for give is give, right? So give. So here R stands for recipient case relation. It is called as recipient case relation. So what is recipient over here? John. So in this fashion I have to write from Mary the book goes to John. So book has come and it will be going to John. So from recipient, the R stands for recipient case relation. So what is case relation for recipient? Book is given to him. Okay, so this is the way to represent it. The next is, it describes the relation for change of state. Tree grows, like tree was short, now tree is grown. Right? You have picture header and you have picture header and you have tree, PP. Right? So you're talking about, so initially size was equal to C, but now size is greater than C. So I can say that tree is growing. So this is incoming, initially, outgoing, now, current. Okay. Next is, it describes the relationship between one conceptualization and that causes and another that causes it. Here X is X is causes Y. Okay. So here I can say Bill shot Bob. Okay. I can say that Bill shot Bob. Okay, and Bob's health is poor. Because Bill has shot Bob, Bob's health is poor. Okay. X causes Y. If X, then Y. In this fashion, you can represent it. Fine. Next is, it describes the relationship between one conceptualization while another is happening at the time of the first. Okay. I'm going home, and while I was going home, I saw a snake. So it is represented in this fashion. Okay. So using these all things, we can represent different activities or different English sentences can be represented in this pictorial format. Okay, that is called as conceptual dependency. Now what are advantages of this? Using these primitives involve fewer inference rules. Okay, if you get familiar with these 10 rules and those action primitives, you can design them. Okay, many inference rules are already represented in this way, in the structure, right? It is structural representation as well as pictorial, like both are combined over here. The holes in initial structure, loopholes in initial structure help to focus on the points still to be established. Now what are the problems with this? Knowledge must be decomposed into fairly low level primitives. Fine. Impossible or difficult to find correct set of primitives. You require more primitives. I require number of primitives, then and then I can make it, right? A lot of inference may be still required. Representation can be complex. It can become complex also, right? Complex representation require a lot of storage. But this way is used for few applications. For example, you can see here there's applications of conceptual dependency, MARGI. Meaning analysis, response generation and inference on English. So it is MARGI. So this models natural language and understanding. So in MARGI, conceptual dependency is used. Okay. Then next is SAM, that is script applier mechanism. Script to understand the stories. Okay, scripting is there, right? So in order to understand stories, we require scripting, and for scripting this is used. PAM, right? Plan applier mechanism, script to understand stories again. So PAM, SAM, these things have used CD, conceptual dependency. I hope everything is clear to you. Okay, so here we finish with our third unit. We'll stop here. Thank you.